Hey, Sagittarius. Mel, intuitive coach here, excited to bring in your October 2025 bonus reading. All right, Sag, let's open up your energy field and take a look at the sacred shifts and divine gifts that are unfolding for you this month. Now, this session is designed to open a clear channel between you and your spirit team to reveal what your soul has been trying to say beneath the noise. We'll look at what's blocking your clarity and what's ready to shift so that you can fully step into the next chapter of your life. Bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Wands showing up here. So some of you may feel like you're going through some external obstacles at this time. This can even be internal criticism or drama of some sort. Maybe drama because of adversity. Perhaps you feel like there's a competitive energy around you because the Five of Wands can be a struggle, either internally or externally, but you're finding solutions. I feel like you are in the midst of overcoming some of these obstacles at this time. Now, with this energy, I'm also getting direction, like feeling like you want more of a purpose or feeling clear on which direction or which path to go, because sometimes it feels like a big cluster. This is represented here by the flamingos are being used as the pawns in the Queen's croquet game in Alice in Wonderland. So the flamingos here are being used to play croquet, and that's not their purpose. Right? That's not their purpose. They're being a pawn in this game, and you may feel a bit lost. Perhaps you feel like you are being a pawn, being moved around here where you're not feeling fulfilled. So let's dive in and take a look at the messages that your spiritual helpers have for you. You have Serapis Bey. Now, Serapis Bey brings in ascension. He has this powerful ancient Egyptian vibe. Some of you may be called to this timeline. You're being guided to move into your true self. Rise above the darkness. Yeah, rise above the competition. Rise above the fray with that Five of Wands because you have wings, right? The flamingo has wings. And I see that you are about to soar. You are about to overcome a challenge here because you are staying true to yourself. You're rising above. You're leaning into the light. So Serapis Bey may also have to do with something that has to do with history. I'm getting history here. This could be heritage, bloodline, family. This could be something that has occurred many, many moons ago, but you have felt the struggle. For some of you, this has to do with adversity. Perhaps it has to do with how you grew up, society, maybe family dramas as well. But I see that you are getting clear on your purpose and you are moving into your true self. You're discovering parts of who you are at this time. And you have Odin coming through here. Odin brings in psychic insight. Many of you Sagittarians are opening up your psychic eye and your visions may be becoming more clear. Many of you are having very, very intense dreams. And I'm talking dreams during your sleep state, but also your daydreams. Now, you could be meditating as well and receiving downloads. A lot of you are channelers, you are light workers, you are healers. I would say probably all of you watching, you all have spiritual gifts, but you're opening up your clairvoyance for many of you. Your third eye is open. You're seeing the truth for what it is. And because Serapis Bey is here with ascension, I do feel like your soul is expanding consciousness here where you have leveled up the playing field, right? You have outgrown a certain situation or a certain scenario where you're saying, okay, what's next? So pay attention to your dreams. Follow your intuition at this time. You have a gift. You have a story to share. You have this intuitive knowing about you where you can see through the fluff. You can see through, and that hasn't always come easy because things can become foggy, right? The moon energy. I'm just looking to see if we have the moon. It's not out here on the table, but you may have gone through a period of your life where you walked through the fog and you were trying to watch your step. But I feel it was through that foggy time where you really got in touch with yourself. And many of you are discovering your spiritual gifts, and you could even be taking classes. Maybe you are taking a class on intuition, or perhaps this is a tarot class. You could also be working with your dreams, keeping a dream journal. You may be meditating more, connecting to your higher power, because your higher power is saying, trust in me. We are leading you forward towards your divine blueprint. You're on your divine blueprint already. So it's not like you've been off track. So many times we think that we're not living the life we're meant to live. But even when we are going through that fog, even if we feel like we've taken a detour, but what I'm getting here for you is remembering. You're remembering who you are, and that brings you back to self. Right? That's what is part of your awakening here. So next you have hope coming through. And this is a powerful energy. I'm getting a mustard seed of faith. That's all you need here is a mustard seed of faith. And you have it here. You are being gifted love and acceptance because, well, that's your birthright. It is a gift, but it's a gift that exists within us all. And sometimes we forget. We forget that that's a gift that we have access to because we are love. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth and choose loving thoughts. Sometimes that Five of Wands can be criticism that may or may not be your own voice. It could be the voice of mom or dad criticizing you. Perhaps it was a teacher. Perhaps it is a family member, an ex, a lover, whomever. And it, in turn, is the story that replays out in your mind. And it turns to self-criticism, self-sabotage, self-destruction. You are being asked at this time to choose your words wisely, to remember that you are love, and to display that love, not only for yourself, but put it out there into the world and choose loving thoughts here. But I also see that you are a true channeler. You are truly tapping into your psychic abilities. Don't doubt them. So let's see what your higher self wants you to know. King of Wands. I just heard go big or go home. I don't know if some of you have said that, or perhaps you've seen that quote on like a billboard or maybe a card, go big or go home. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to go sit on the porch, of course, but the King of Wands energy here is a big energy of adventure and of putting yourself out there. You have new lands to explore. You have new adventures to seek out. You have people that you have yet to meet. You have experiences that your soul is calling you to say yes to. So when this King of Wands shows up, you may be an influencer. Many of you with that psychic ability here have the ability to help others, help them seek their own truth and to open them up to their own awareness here. And you may be someone who marches to the beat of your own drum, right? You are someone who, you could be an entrepreneur, but you don't always love to follow the rules, Sag, or listen to other individuals when it comes to what you should do. You're meant to break out of the mold. So when you get stuck in this, like not my monkey, not my circus type of vibe with that Five of Wands, it really bogs you down. So no wonder with this 5 energy coming up, you're like, I need to rise above this. I don't want to stay attached to this drama, this conflict, this adversity. I know that I deserve more. And I see that you're also wise enough to know that this has been a learning experience. So whatever this 5 of Wands has been for you, you can look at it from an observer type of viewpoint, and you can learn, you can heal, and you can teach because of what you have endured. Now, the King of Wands, he's known as the entrepreneur, but he's very passionate for what he does. So you may have something on the side that you are working on. Perhaps you work in the corporate world, but yet you're learning and you're studying at this time, and maybe even opening up your own business or starting your own platform, because you do have this ability to be this natural leader. If you are being called to put yourself out there in some way. Some of you, this is going to be a traveling blog. For others of you, maybe you want to learn real estate or sell real estate. Perhaps you want to travel the globe or work remotely, or whatever this is for you, whatever your passion is. Spirit is saying here, your higher self is saying, step confidently into this energy, because it's going to bring the greatest adventure of your life. Yeah, and you will be very successful as well. It's important to express your ideas. It's important to, use the resources that are available. And many of you are guided to connect to a teacher, a mentor, a psychic. I'm also getting, for some of you, if you have a psychic reading this month, it could hold some very important information that helps you in some way move into this next chapter of your life. Okay, so again, not going to resonate with everyone, but if you have a go-to person, or it could even be, a reading here online, it feels like something within you stokes that fire, right? Because you are fire, and something lights you up and it resonates deep within your soul, and you're saying, yes, that's what it is. I'm going for it. I'm all in, right? I'm going big. And that's what your higher self wants you to know. So what is the block? What is the blind spot? This can be the ego. It can be external noise. You have the star showing up. Okay, so when the star shows up as a block, you have a big dream, right? You do. You have a big dream and hopes. This is hope energy. And because we actually have hope showing up as your spiritual guide, this is about you leaning into your North Star. And Spirit is saying, never, ever give up on your dreams, because the King of Wands, he leans into his dreams passionately. And I love the illustration here, because you can see that this gentleman is out there on the sea, and he is sailing, right? His ship has sailed here, and he is directing the boat in the best way he possibly can, but he cannot control the wind. But what he can do is he can have fun. He can go with the flow, and he can adjust his sails to move accordingly. And that's what you are being guided to do, because we can't always adjust, when the wind comes in. Well, we can never, right? There are certain things that are out of our control, but what you can do is hang on for the ride and still go on that journey or take that adventure, whatever that may be for you. Again, this could be something very personal, very internal for you. It could be something external. It could be a business. It could be relationships, whatever it may be. You are going to know, but you are being guided to adjust your sails and go with the flow here and take action towards a dream that you have. And some of you may feel like this is a pipe dream, like this can never happen. But that's where Glinda comes in, right? Glinda, the Wizard of Oz. When Dorothy and the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, they're having issues, right? They're having issues with the Wicked Witch of the East. And Dorothy comes in, and, she's kind of praying, and she's hoping, and she's wishing. And that's when Glinda comes in. And she shows up when they need her. She's always there, always around, but she shows up in the physical form. So there is a physical manifestation here showing up. There's evidence here of a dream coming to fruition. And you are realizing that for one, you hold a part of Glinda, right? Glinda exists within us all. It's not external, right? And I see that you are tapping into your own magic because the star is here saying this isn't a pipe dream of yours. Of course, be realistic, but shoot for the stars. That's the message. There's a brighter future for you here. And move towards your aspirations because there is a wish that is coming through, right? There's a wish here. I'm seeing in the movie Wizard of Oz where Glinda is moving her magic wand, and it feels like things are starting to come together here for you. Now, what is the mirror? How is this being reflected in your life? Two of Cups. All right, so the Two of Cups here is about alignment and attraction. Yes, it can be the energy of love, but for some of you, this is a coming together energy, okay? Whether this is with a person, this could be a very important partnership that means a lot to you. Yes, it can be romantic, but it can also be something that you have wanted for quite some time because this does give me law of attraction vibes where there's a yin and a yang, right? This is like a peanut butter to the jelly. This is about you bringing this energy into alignment where perhaps you started to give up that this was possible, that this would show up for you. And I see that you are going through a period where certain energies, certain people, certain jobs, certain situations are being removed in order for what truly needs to come in to be able to come in. So allow what is separating from your life to separate. And if there is rejection here, or if you have gone through rejection, if you've gone through a period where there wasn't love for what you do or for a person or for a situation, if something was out of alignment but you were hanging on to it for whatever reason, now it's time to rise above. It's time to say, okay, what's part of my next chapter? And I see the Seven of Swords right below the Five of Wands. So this is a period of honesty, right? Getting honest with yourself. This is coming into that energy of truth, right? Moving into your true self because the light is here. That star shines the light in the darkest night. And I see here that you are realizing not only is there potential, you're realizing that, wow, Mel, this is real. Like this is something I can bring into my life here. So let's look at the shift. What needs to shift or even be released, or I should say embraced, in order for you to move into the gift? The King of Swords. Okay. The King of Swords is the king of our thoughts, our ego, our intellect. So some of you are releasing a King of Swords from your life. This could be a boss. This could be an overly micromanaging, hot-headed, angry individual in your life. It could be someone who is very stuck towards their own belief system, that they are very narrow-minded, where they don't want to see someone else's point of view, and that can cause friction, that can cause drama. You could even be changing how you approach this King of Swords, especially if this is not someone that you can just cut out of your life. It feels like your approach is different. You're setting healthy boundaries for yourself. Maybe this person drives you crazy. This King of Swords is showing up as the gnat, a big old mosquito. And when those mosquitoes come in and you're just trying to enjoy your meal, you're trying to be with your friends and your family and live your best life, but you have that one mosquito that keeps buzzing in your ear and buzzing all around you, and no matter how many times you try to smack it, it just won't go away. I feel like that's what this King of Swords is. So I want you to find, what is the mosquito in your life? What is the mosquito in your life? And instead of constantly focusing your energy on swatting it away, how can you put up a net, right? How can you put a net around you, a boundary around you, in order for you to focus on what truly deserves your focus? Because this can be limiting thoughts. It can be, the stories that we tell. It can even be an overconsumption of the mind where we get lost in the mind and we go down, many different stories that don't even exist, right? Fears. We let fear take over and we start to tell stories that, well, they don't exist. And I see here that you are letting go and you're releasing whatever the mosquito is, the gnat is in your life. So what is the gift? What's waiting on the other side of this, Sag? We have here the 5 of cups, the 4 of cups here. So this is a turning point. The 4 of cups is a huge turning point because instead of focusing on the past or focusing on that King of Swords energy, which could be, again, a pattern, a thought, it could be a person, it could be an energy that didn't have a lot of heart and soul. Because the King of Swords, when he is in his upright position and he is in all of his glory, he is fantastic, right? He is someone who is an excellent communicator, very intelligent, very experienced, very strategic. He'll share his knowledge. He's inspiring. But because you're wanting to release this, it tells me that the King of Swords here is not in his highest of glory here, or he's not using the full capacity of his magic, and that could be causing drama in some way, where the 4 of cups is the shift, where you've been focused on something here of the past for quite some time. And maybe there's been a very stubborn energy. Remember I said history here with Serapis Bay, something that's been going on or ongoing for quite some time. Maybe this is your relationship with the divine masculine here, or it could be a father or a wound that is played out, maybe even since childhood. But the 4 of cups here is saying, yes, there's been frustration, there's been boredom, there's even been emotional stagnation at times. But I see that you're reaching out, you're doing something differently, you're trying what you haven't done in the past. And I see that you're kind of staying in your own lane here, but you are using the resources, because what you can embrace, right, with the King of Swords is you can embrace intelligence and you can use resources, especially through technological advancements, because he can rule technology. And you could be taking classes. Maybe this is a boss of yours that you're not loving. Maybe they're not using their power in the best possible way. And you're saying, Mel, I want to get out of this situation. I'm taking some classes or certification, or I'm online looking for new jobs. And I am ready to create this turning point in my life. I'm ready to focus on the future instead of constantly feeling like I'm struggling in this 5 of Wands. And that's what the shift is all about for you, because the 4 of Cups is saying it's time. This is a new opportunity calling you. So what is the integration? What's the outcome? You have the Hanged Man, seeing something from a new point of view, a new perspective. I also see someone releasing and letting go of control. Now, the 5 of Wands, it can be a battle of control, like hierarchy in some way. And I see that for some of you, you are dealing with a control freak, or perhaps you at times have felt like you've had to control your circumstances. I've even said this in my life. I'm a recovering control freak. If you've gone through a 5 of Wands experience for so long, so for me in my childhood, things were very, very chaotic. And as an adult, that stemmed into needing to have everything perfect and organized and needing to control, everything around me, because that gave me a false sense of security. And as I have learned how to integrate madness, if you will, knowing that there are certain things that are outside of my control and what I can with, control. I can control my schedules and my routines and how I show up to life, how I respond to certain things, has allowed me also to work with my own nervous system. And for those of you who have struggled seeing a different point of view, or if you have struggled with control, I see that you may even be leaning into somatic healing, spiritual tools, and really being able to, rise above and see things from that view that perhaps you can't always see when you're in the midst of it. right? Five of Wands, when you're in the midst of chaos, you can't really see things until you have more of that bird's eye view when you're seeing it from maybe afar. Sometimes it's years later. I didn't understand, as a girl, how to control my environment, but it wasn't until years later where I started to work with my nervous system a bit more. I started to open myself up to my intuitive gifts more because I suppressed them. I shut them down for quite some time, where some of you may have felt admonished, or you felt like you couldn't speak up, or like me, you just wanted to be normal. You just wanted to fit in, but you're not born to fit in. All right. Everybody is unique. Everybody is authentic. And I see here that you have a powerful gift, and it's time that you open up that crown chakra, because oftentimes you'll see on the Hanged Man energy in any tarot deck that crown chakra is highlighted, because there's a spiritual calling and awakening that is guiding you at this time. So let's get a final message here from your higher self. We have show up shaking. Sag, you have everything you need within you, even if you may not feel ready. Push through what feels uncomfortable. You are here to share your message and gifts with the world. Confirmation of what Spirit brought in. You are here to share your gifts and your message with the world. That is what I have for you, Sag. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed the reading, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And if you are interested in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find that information in the description box below, or by visiting intuitivesoulcoach.com.